The weekend feels like a great time to do a quick meditation on self-care. Self-care is an important aspect of loving oneself. It's taken on kind of a strange hue in our current cultural moment where we're all tired and burned out and like weary travelers looking for an oasis in the desert. And self-care is pitched as that oasis, and it can be that oasis. The problem I have with the self-care industry that's kind of popped up in the current moment is that it reinforces two things. It reinforces this idea that self-care is something that happens in this box. Like, now I'm going to practice self-care in the next 10, 20, 30 minutes. And it also reinforces this notion that self-care is something you have to spend money on and buy your way into, and buy expensive lotions and bubble baths and comfy blankets and robes and all sorts of things. And that's fine. That's fine if that brings you joy. But oftentimes the idea that we have to buy our way into something, it creates stress. It creates emotional stress. It creates financial stress for something that really should be much simpler than that. Self-care can mean a whole lot of different things. Yes, self-care can be drawing yourself a warming bath. It can be staying in bed for an extra half an hour, especially on the weekend. It can be cooking yourself a nice breakfast. Self-care represents all the ways that we show love for ourselves. Sometimes self-care can feel selfish, and it is insofar as it's for ourselves. But there are times to be selfish. Being selfish is not a bad thing if it allows you to protect yourself, to protect your peace, to protect this element of care that you can bring to yourself. So today, I want to think about, and I want you to reflect on either the ways in which you've already shown yourself care, or the ways in which you will show yourself care. It's often really helpful to have something that you can anchor to in terms of your self-care regimen. For me, self-care today is going to be a whole host of personal hygiene things: taking a shower, clipping my toenails, TMI, shaving, the sorts of things that sometimes fall by the wayside during the week, but really turning it into not just another thing that I'm doing or that I have to do, but an hour of time spent on myself, spent with care and deliberation, spent in self-reflection, appreciating this opportunity to invest time in myself. I think one of the benefits when we look at self-care as not needing a ton of time or not needing a huge financial buy-in, one of the great things that happens is, as with other elements of our loving parent practice, we begin to open ourselves up to the opportunities for self-care throughout our days. And so that pulls it out of this box where I'm going to spend half an hour on self-care and then go back to my regular life, and makes it something where we can try and practice self-care every day. Self-care happens in so many different ways. Self-care is having compassion for yourself. Self-care is bringing thoughts of gratitude or joy to your day. Self-care happens in a myriad of physical ways, obviously, but there's mental self-care too. There's telling yourself you did a good job today. There's telling yourself to have patience with yourself today. All of that is self-care. And so today, just sit for a minute and commit to giving yourself care. Whether that's something physical you can do, whether that's taking 10 minutes just to sit and meditate, or sit with yourself and have a conversation. Sit and talk about the good things you did this week, what you're proud of. All of this kind of builds on itself, as we've said before. These small moments grow into bigger moments, and then eventually it just becomes your life, and that's a very powerful thing. So I hope you find some time today to take moments for yourself. I hope you revel in those moments. And I hope you really see them for the balm that they can be in your everyday life. As always, I thank you for showing up. I hope that this helps you find peace throughout your day and your week. And I'll see you back here next time.